some more folks. One thing I wanted to ask first before we got started is I'm I'm noticing that we have a lot of people in the general channel in our Slack who post really long snips, like really long configs and output from errors and things like that. And I'm wondering if we can start trying to put those in as, I think that they're called text. I don't even know where they put this anymore. Thanks, Slack, for I want to make a snippet. That's what that's called. And that way it does not take up a ton of scroll. And then another thing I was hoping is that we can try and thread a bit more because it's getting kind of out of hand. I don't want to be the person that like sits in there and goes, please thread your stuff, because that makes me look like a jerk and it makes this place seem kind of uncomfortable. But if we do this ourselves, it sets a good precedent for that. So
I'm that jerk in my personal Slack. in our gaming group Slack.
Yeah, I can totally relate to being that jerk, but I was hoping we could have another approach to it. But you know, I just don't want people to feel unwelcome. People need a opportunity to show up and get their questions answered. But it would be tidier if we did it a different way. Anyway,
sounds like you have a volunteer.
Yeah, sure. Feel free to be that jerk, Eugene.
Well, what we need for that is the emoji of please thread. That's a spoof thread, and then people get the message.
All right. I mean, I do have an emoji for that, so I'll see if I can dig it out.
Cool.
All right. I'm going to go on mute and let you take over, Mr. User Group Leader.
All right. So soon it's going to be the OG user group, right? Because there's going to be a second one. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool. But today we have Nick showing us some packs and talking about that. And apparently, because people ask, don't blame me, vacation photo. Take it away, Nick.
All right. Thanks so much, Eugene. Hi, everybody. I think I've met most everyone here, but for those who I have not met, my name is Nick Tankersley, NT3, sometimes called Tank. We have a lot of Nicks internally, so if you say Tank, I'll show up like magically. So I'm product manager here at Cribl. I run product for Logstream and Logstream Cloud specifically. I've been here for around 6 months, but if you're familiar with some of the other older places where a lot of Cribl folks come from, I work there as well. That's the last I'll say about it. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about packs. So as a quick overview, and I don't have any slides, this is informal, so I'm not going to go crazy into it. So back in May and early June, we released Logstream 3.0. We also announced Logstream Cloud. Always a call to action. If you don't have a cloud environment, go get yourself a cloud instance. Just go to cribl.cloud. You can get one. So in that release, there was this concept of packs. And packs are really our portability solution for configurations, pipelines, content, data samples, like everything that you're used to working in, day out as an actual like Logstream user. Packs are the way that you can pack that all up and you can share it within your own organization. So quickly scale out a deployment of your own Logstream environment by building once and then distributing those configurations to multiple groups, or sharing between you and other folks in your org or within the community. So we released the core functionality in 3.0. We were kind of expecting a lot of like internal adoption, which we have seen. We've noticed a lot of people who are building packs and using packs as sort of their primary place where they do pipeline, route, and data sample, lookup development, all of that kind of stuff. It gives you a nice isolated environment so that you can do that work without affecting anybody else's work, really. But really out of the gate, there was this ask of, okay, this is great and all, we're going to use this internally. We can see why it's going to be important, but like, why, where are yours? Like, where's the community packs? Where's all the content? And we'd started planning that. So we'd been working with the product team, had working with the sales engineering team for about a month or two in advance to line up, what are the things that we are doing day in, day out in all the accounts? Like, we're parsing Windows events. We're helping people understand how to set up a webhook. We are bringing in knowledge specifically for microservice logs or for specific technologies like Carbon Black or Palo Alto. So our sales engineering and services teams, they were already out there building all this stuff, and they were just copying and pasting JSON and YAML files in everybody's account. So we thought, okay, let's just start making it official. Let's start packing it up. So that began going last month. We released a few things, just sort of one-off at the end of June. I got it in right under the wire. I always promise things publicly because it's the only way I can hold myself accountable to getting the job done. And so we put that out there, but over the last week, things moved really quickly, and we just went straight for spinning up the Cribl Packs dispensary, which is a GitHub organization that has about 8 repositories now. We're staging other things, and I'm going to walk you through what we have, and I'm also going to show you a little bit of 3.1 to help you see where we're going from a pack management perspective as well. This is an open conversation. Ask me questions anytime. A lot of the people who built the packs, I think, are on this call. This has been a big group effort from the entire team. And with that, I will share my screen. So here it is. It's github.com/criblpacks. This is a list of all of the packs that we are making available to the community and to all Logstream users, independent of license type, free, cloud, enterprise, don't care. Everybody has access to these packs. We believe knowledge should be free. We're very clear about that. We only have about 7 to start. Then we have 8 now. I just put up another one, but we have several more in the running. We have several more coming in. So I just put up one from Carly, who's one of our sales engineers. This is for middleware message queue systems. And a lot of it is just taking the complexity out of writing regexes and using filters and having out of the box content and configurations for a lot of these different domains. So if we look at something like this, when you click on a given pack, you'll be given the repo, all very standard. The README will walk you through how you get started, what this pack includes. I want to call out a couple of things here. All of our packs come with data samples. It's really important to know that's our internal publication standard. If it's a pack that has a pipeline, you're going to get a data sample. We think this is very helpful so you can start to understand before you begin onboarding your own data sources and your own logs from a specific technology. What is that going to look like? What can I actually do with this? So these packs are every bit as much giving you drop-in content for your work, but also gives you a good place to go and kind of experiment and see the best practices and the ways that we're handling this data. We have a packs channel that's on the Logstream community. Please join in there. That's where we want to have pack conversations. Going to being a jerk in Slack. If we hear questions about packs, you'll probably get redirected to the packs channel. We want to keep the conversation really tight in there, specifically around packs. Everything that we are doing packs-wise is under the Apache 2.0 license. So you can fork it, you can modify it, you can publish your own. We don't care, right? It's all out there for you. If there's something that's so important that we feel like we need to wrap like IP around it, well, that sounds like a product, and it will not be put out on GitHub as a specific like content extension to Logstream. So every single pack has a couple of ways of installing. So everybody today who's on 3.0 and beyond, all you can use is the install from file option. So all of our packs have a release, and that release will have a CRBL file. Luckily, in the last week, we have wired this up so whenever whoever owns the repo decides to release a new version, creates a new release version, it will automatically bundle up a CRBL file, which is our extension for packs, so that it will be available to you as a download. So if you're unable to connect your Logstream instance to the outside internet, which I'll show you what that means in a second, then you can always go to any one of these packs, go to the releases, and on the latest release, you will have a CRBL file that is available to you. I also want to call out that as you are developing packs as a part of the community, we will be publishing our internal guidelines for what we consider to be a good pack, as well as our publication steps. But you will also be able to go and use any of the automation pieces, workflows that we have created for our own internal packs. So this is the first one. This is how we're going through and creating a new CRBL file for anybody to get whenever we have a new release. So, feel free to use everything here, contribute back, come up with automation tools. We're just getting started. So there's a lot of room for us to grow. So that's Cribl packs right now. The 8 that we have are for middleware. This is for Windows events. This is David Maislin's like Uber pack. Like this is the biggest one. It's huge. It's like a ton of work in there. So if you're a company out there with a lot of Windows events, this is a great one for you. This is one that our CEO is building. It's an out-of-the-box end-to-end experience for app scope to log stream to an external destination for key use cases around network latent bandwidth monitoring. So if anybody here knows Clint Sharp, our CEO, you know that he likes to be as close to pushing the edge as he possibly can be on anything. So he's taking the pack concept, which is really just designed to help us share configurations, and is now beginning to figure out, okay, how do we make this a quick start for end-to-end data flows from source all the way to destination? And I think you'll start seeing a lot more of that in packs. They'll start encompassing a lot more of the end-to-end flow of data through Logstream. Carbon Black is from our good friend Renan in the sales engineering organization. He also did the FortiGate firewall pack. Ahmed has released the microservices log pre-processing, basically Docker, Kubernetes, and Pivotal Cloud Foundry log data processing. Mo Hassan from the SE team has produced the Cisco ESA Meltex pack. And then at the very bottom here is John Rust, who has put a pack together to show how you can use our webhook destination to send events from a pipeline to Slack. There's some additional capabilities I'll talk about maybe here in about 5 or 6 minutes that will also help with that. But this is a great example of how a pack can show you where you can go, not just for processing data, but how to better utilize destinations for key use cases. Okay, so that's where we are today with packs. This is available today. Go get it. Everything here is pre-release. I want to say, I think it's important that we acknowledge that. We do expect it to get to 1.0 near time frame, but as we roll these out the first time, we wanted to make it very clear that we're still working through the support model, the escalation model. Right now, we are taking all requests for updates or issues within the packs themselves. I'll show you how to do that. So if you have a request for a feature, you can always go into the actual repo. You can go to the issues. You can create a new issue. You can talk about what you might need changed. You can also just do a pull request. So if you are looking at a specific pipeline and you think there's a change that needs to be made, you can always, and I have editor access to this, so it doesn't quite, but you can always fork or always check out, create a branch, do a pull request. And that's kind of the relationship that we'd like to start developing. We want to be very open and collaborative in this environment. But if you're not comfortable with GitHub or otherwise, don't quite know the fix that needs to be made, please, on any of the individual repos, use the issue link to create an issue. It will notify the pack builder as well as myself and a few others that are on the team. So it's not just like one person, and we will respond to those, and we'll do all of that management out in the open in front of everything. No back of the house Jira paths for us and packs to start. I kind of want to try to run that as far as we can before we have to go sort of behind the scenes to take requests. All right, I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions before I show you a really cool new feature in 3.1 that will make installing packs a lot easier. And I'm going to post this link in the chat, by the way, so everybody has it.
Come on, now's your chance while the dogs are not barking. Any questions?
It doesn't stop. It's all day.
It's either that or piano lessons, right?
Yeah. We're both.
I have a question. How's support going to be maintained? Is there going to be a release schedule?
So each pack is on its own independent release schedule. So if we identify an issue that needs to be updated, then we'll make that update. The nice thing about it is packs are pretty basic. They're YAML files. There's not a lot of like advanced functionality. So like emergency security problems or like security patches don't really seem to be an issue right now. But each pack will be on its own maintenance schedule. They will not be versioned with Logstream necessarily. Like unless a major update happens to Logstream in which all packs need to be updated to be compatible with that version, they will be on their own schedule.
Are the packs so for the commercial version of Logstream, they are under support?
So all of these packs are pre-release right now. When they go 1.0, then they will be under official support. But our support policy is always that if you're in a commercial version, you're having an issue with a particular piece, raise a ticket if you want, and then we will work with support to make sure that it's handled. But when we start to bring requests for enhancements or bugs or issues with packs, the work will be done in this repo, not behind the scenes. Does that make sense? So if you're on a commercial support entitlement, please feel free to continue to use that to file any issues with packs. But I also urge you to just come to the repo as well if it's not an urgent matter and you want to just do it through that method.
Is the dispensary going to accept third-party packs, and what's going to be how's that going to be handled support-wise?
TBD, all of that TBD, right? So the dispensary right now is internal, Cribl folks only. We do want to open it up so people can submit their packs and have them listed here. We're also, this is a good question for everybody out there, because this is where do we want to go with this? So our options are all packs are listed on our dispensary in our dispensary organization, and we give people access or give community members access to their repos, maybe more, depending on their contributions. Or you can build and release and put your packs on your own individual org page or in your own repos that you manage. And then we're planning in the next couple of months to have a more formalized web presence for packs, to have them all listed, makes them easier to search and find. And that would allow us to add listings from outside of this organization, as well as all the things in that org. So I'm kind of curious, is those who are interested in building packs, what are some of your thoughts about how you would like to organize and stage and release these things? No opinions.
Well, I assume for third parties, you're going to use GitHub as a staging mechanism, and is there going to be a website for like other vendors offer for their third party add-ons, or it's just purely going to be GitHub?
No, that's just what I was talking about. That was the idea. So what I'm envisioning is a place where you can basically make a request to have your pack listed, whether it's in our repo or whether it's in one of our repos, or whether it's an external repo, or whether it's just a link on a site somewhere, right? And then we would review it, make sure that it meets certain conditions that we're still working on internally, and then it would be listed on that page. That's what I was just talking about, was having that listing page, which is something that will come up in the next couple of months. Luckily GitHub has a nice pages concept, so we can publish a kind of front end to this whole thing pretty quickly, just using their whole pages approach.
But you are going to have a review process. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're still working that out. We have our own internal review, and we'll probably just turn that into the external facing guidance soon, next couple of months. Anyway.
Did someone else have a question? I thought I heard somebody else.
It was exactly it. Yeah. What's the review or vetting process, and how's that going to work? I have kind of a sore spot for app vetting processes. Yeah,
it's right now. I mean, it'll be whatever our internal stuff is. We'll turn that around. I hope by the 3.1 release, which will be in the next, August, September timeframe. And then we'll just refine from there. We're not trying to overthink it. I've also seen app vetting go way too far, way too quickly, and it's almost impossible for people to process or engage in. So let's imagine we had a bunch of automated tests that would check for certain vulnerabilities, certain things that aren't supported in the pack. All of that would be what we're expecting. All of that would be tests that are available as a part of this repo. So we would not only collaborate on the packs themselves, but what are the requirements? How do we keep them safe? How do we ensure they're valuable? How do we ensure that they are testable? And how do we ensure all packs go through a certain testing before they're able to be published? And if we do that all as a part of the Cribl Packs org, then everybody will have access to those tools all the time. I've just gone through the place where you send something to the back of the house somewhere and it takes months and you get a response saying hey, this can't be listed, and you have no idea why.
Hey, Nick, I have a question. I think you might have covered this. how do we request like packs from like to be built? Or is there like a way to like crowdsource pack building or pack rolling? Yeah, just wondering.
Patch channel.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna-
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just come to the back channel. We'll put it out there. You know, it's basically like we're fielding requests for this. But I really want to urge, I think a good approach is sort of like getting the ball rolling, right? Which is like, I want this pack, I have these data samples, I have these pipelines. Getting something out there that we can iterate on together is sometimes more valuable than like asking for us to officially come in and build something out. So, I mean, I think the community element here is essential. Like, we want to jump in and provide our knowledge and skills around Logstream, but we also don't want to wind up having this like never-ending queue of packs that need to be created when we can start to work together. So if you have some early stuff sketched together, some pipelines and some samples, like let's get it out there and let's use this open arena to begin to develop that out together. That's what I'd like to get to ultimately. But if you have requests, if you have questions about what packs we're building, put them in the packs channel. I will be recording those and we'll be building a list of those things to make sure that, you know, if something is really, really a hot item for a pack, then we're able to respond to that.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Just out of curiosity and maybe to spark interest if it doesn't exist, but is there one of those, you know, training labs for creating packaging up a pack?
No, it's really simple. Like, our docs take you through it quickly. Like a pack is about as easy a thing to create as you can imagine. I can walk you through it now, but we kept it really, really basic.
Okay.
I'd say 90% of the work in a pack is the pipelines and configurations inside of it.
Okay.
That said, it is on my backlog to create a sandbox around it.
There you go. I think you'll start seeing packs show up more in sandboxes. You'll start seeing them show up more in the cloud product. They're a way that we're going to be shipping content and experiences pretty consistently.
Yeah, I was just thinking of facts when I was asking earlier on Slack about Cribl metrics reporting, how, or forwarding Cribl logs, and how you have to do that in each worker group separately. Well, that seems like a primary use for a pack.
Yeah. So what will really help here is when we get later on this year, we release the next major additions to packs, which is the inclusion of sources and destinations. Right. When we get there, like, packs are going to like really blow up, I think, in a big way. So that's where we're going. Right now, packs are relegated to pipelines, routes, lookups, knowledge objects, things that exist basically between the source and destination. But the next versions, not the 3.1, not the one coming out in the next month or so, but the ones after that will have sources, destinations, collectors, and then the ability to eventually, you know, we'll see when we get there, kind of write custom code for Logstream that becomes much more like an app. But that's ways off. We didn't call it an app for a reason. We didn't want to set the expectation that people would be authoring UIs and all that kind of stuff.
It's a substream.
All right. Well, I'm going to show y'all some stuff real fast. This is an early 3.1 preview. Okay, so we have all these packs. Right. If I wanted to get one, I could go here. I could go to my releases. I could grab this. I could install it. Right. Within my Logstream environment, you get to packs by going here. So to answer Eugene's question, if you're going to create a pack, you go here, you hit create a pack, you fill out some information, and then you just start bringing in content. So you create pipelines and routes. Right now, you can't say point to existing pipelines and route and suck them into the pack, but you can just create a new one and then copy the JSON over. It's a pretty effective process. So that's how you would create a pack. I'm going to show you in the current version, you'd import from a URL. So grab a CRBL file. In the next version, you would go to the repo of the pack that you want. Come on, mouse. There you go. Go to code. Just grab that link right there. And the listing page that we were talking about, Ed, this will likely be a lot. We'll have, you know, the GitHub ingestion link, the link to the CRBL file, everything sort of right there in front of you. But still, even so, just go to code, copy that to your clipboard, go here, go to add new, import from Git URL. One thing I want to call out is new pack ID is not required. You can basically that would be an import as, right? You're importing it and you're forking the ID or you're changing the ID. So any of your local changes will persist from that point forward. I'm not going to do that because I want to be able to upgrade the pack and have the pack sort of modify and move as new content comes available. So I'm not going to add a new pack ID. There we go. So the Cribl Windows events, we're also adding display name in 3.10. So you'll be able to have an ID, which is, no spaces, sort of slugified. And then you'll have the ability to add like a nice name to it, a display name, which will just look a little better. But now we are immediately in the Windows pack. And as I mentioned, there's some pretty phenomenal pieces of content here for Windows for processing some really, really ugly data. I think David Maisel has done a phenomenal job here. To get information about the pack, go to settings, check out the README. It'll have everything you need to get started. This is also one of those things, if you need, if you don't feel like there's enough information in the README, always go right back to the pack, go to the README, create an issue saying like, hey, please add more information about this, or do a pull request against the README file for additions you'd like to see. That's the relationship we want to get to here. We want to keep it really open and community oriented to drive quality and growth of these things.
So you're now able to update that pack directly from GitHub. Is that what just happened?
Yeah. So you could. So I've installed it via GitHub, and if I wanted to upgrade it, I don't have an upgrade yet. So I would just go import git URL, and I put the new one in. And I go overwrite, and it would upgrade like that. And we haven't wired up like the upgrade from URL yet. This is still early version of 3.1. So that's where we are. So it's still manual if you want to go and get an upgrade. There's no notification yet. Further down the road, I think we want to make it so it's pretty well tied together. So if you have a production log stream environment, it can pick up updates from a repository fairly automatically. Right. That's what we got going on. There's other stuff in 3.1. I will talk about more in a future one of these, Eugene. So I might grab another 10 minutes of your time to kind of talk about what's coming up next session. I would love to do that. But for the most part, that takes us through the big pieces of packs. And I'm open for any questions if you want to see anything else.
I have one more question. Will the packs integrate into the monitoring console so that we'll be able to see the data flowing into the monitoring console from the packs?
They're already there.
Already okay.
Yeah, this one just I don't have any data flowing through yet. But yeah.
Okay.
Packs are already included, and then you would also see in the flow, it would show up here. It would show what packs are actually being used.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's always. Oh, go ahead.
So mostly I'm applying or testing on the stage and applying onto the prod, and I would like to use the packs as a migration container like this. What's the normal way to pack from non-prod and implement onto the prod or migrate that pack and apply on the prod side as well?
I mean, the way you would do it to start is you would develop on your dev side and you get the pack and the position you want it to be in, and then you would push those changes up to the main repo that I just showed, like a main repo or a release repo. And then in the future version, you would go in and manually import that pack into production, what I just showed, right? Through the UI or through the API, you would hit that and import. That's the step we're at right now. As I mentioned a moment ago, we want to make it so that if you push something to a particular repo or use a particular tag, that the production instance is able to absorb that change without a manual intervention step, but we're not there yet. And I don't have a timeline when we will be. We're thinking about how that can work right now. But I think that's kind of the gold standard of experience that we're trying to get to. So you can develop, make all your changes, get them ready, push, merge your changes into the main or the release branch of your pack, and then that gets picked up and carried over automatically. But in the near term, you'll have to go and upgrade the pack manually, or you'll have to push it manually via the API.
So is that appear on the like prod packs or on the main pipes and routes style? I'm just wondering how transform from pack to the normal pipelines. Is that a copy paste or just is there any trick over there? I don't know.
What do you mean when you're creating a pack or when you're just trying to put a pack into production?
Okay, let's say in just on production and your packs include routes and pipes, pipeline, and how you can apply this pipeline into the normal pipes and
yeah, I see what you're saying. Let me see, I have something here. So if we look at how packs work out right now, so you'll still have sources. You have, like, we haven't added sources and destinations. So you'd set up a source.
You're not sharing anymore.
Oh, I'm not sharing anymore, thanks.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a little refresher for people who haven't seen it of how you put it back in place.
Yeah, so you have a source. Let's see if I have a good data gem that I can use with one of these things. This would also be nice when we get to sources and destinations, we can add data gens. So you can have like a data gen that creates the data for a particular piece. I'm just gonna, this is gonna be fake, by the way. Just pick Apache comment, fine. All right, let's test that out. That's gonna take a minute. It's going live, great. Okay, let's go to a route. Okay, so I have my default route. Okay, my default route is picking up everything. Now, instead of pipeline is main, pipeline would be to the pack, right? So then you would pick the pack there. So what that's going to do is going to funnel the data into the pack. So once I'm there, save you, I go to that pack, and then I do all of my work for data processing in the pack. As I mentioned, we're going to bring all of this together so you don't have to go to multiple places. Sources and the initial routing of the data into the pack requires system level or group level setup. But once you get that pushing into the pack, then you create routes and pipelines for the packs. And with all of these, like with Carly's message queue system, she's done all that work for you. So if you set things up on the source side the way that she recommends in the settings, then it will flow through this pack, and you just need to pick a destination from that point. Does that make sense? Be good if I had a diagram there. It's still, yeah, there's still room for us to bring it tighter together. But basically, you set up a source, you route that data from the source into a pack, and then you do all of your work in the pack.
Okay, so you have to set up on the source side, not the route and the pipelines.
Yeah, you'll still have to set up a source side, yep, and then make sure the data routes into that pack. And then, so in your instance, you would still be doing source and some initial routing in the at the group level, right, in the system. And then once it's into the pack, which is, we find to be the majority of the work, you can separate the pack from the system. So you can update the pack, you can update samples, you can update regexes, all of that kind of stuff, and push that out and upgrade it without touching the configuration on the source side.
I think one of the challenges in having source and destination in the packs is that a lot of sites, you're going to have a different set of sources and destinations on dev versus prod or regional or something like that. So it's a bigger challenge to solve for. And this gives us the ability to kind of take all the logic, put it into one place, but then just, you know, you're just dealing with kind of the periphery of it to get the data through it.
Yeah, I think it's where things like environment variables, right, come into play. So like your pack would have a source, that source would have environment variables that would define the URL, the auth, all that kind of stuff. And then when you pushed it from dev to production would have a different set of variables that would get picked up.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was wondering about how that would work because, you know, our destination for S3 is different than prod and dev.
Yeah, so that's why it's not there yet. We know about it, and the underlying capabilities of packs are already in place for that. Just, you know, take us a second to get there. All right.
Very cool.
Maybe a few seconds, maybe not just one, maybe a few seconds.
I would say a second. I'm going to hold the team to it. One second. All right. I think that's good.
And all the vacation photos?
Oh yeah, do I have it up? Where's my Lightroom? I haven't been on a real vacation in a while. to the Lightroom.
Well, I
Yeah,
heard
vacation
you
photos too.
you disappeared, right? And you were told not to take your work laptop with you, like sometime in June, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't take any photos either. That was just like, we went to a place on the Oregon, Washington coast in the Hood River area, which is gorgeous, by the way. If anybody's looking for the most striking scenery in the Northwest, I think it's that river between the two states. But yeah, we were up on a mountain. There we had no reception at all for like 4 days straight. It was perfect.
I don't know, man. No internet. I'm not sure I can deal with that.
It was pretty solid.
I think that's when it got super hot, Nick.
No, it was cool the whole time for us. It got hot when we got back.
All right, folks. Anything else you want to talk about, Eugene?
Well, do we have a raffle as usual?
I was thinking we do, I would do like a hat and cup and stickers pack. And I just requested that we had stickers made of our new dispensary logo too. So I don't know if those will arrive in time, but a swag pack in honor of the PAX theme, perhaps. Let's have a couple of those. I have a list. I have the list already.
Well,
Wait,
I realized that I. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. Sorry, I didn't interrupt. You go ahead, Eugene. My question was gonna be a frivolous one.
What? I can't handle any frivolous questions.
Well, I was gonna ask for vacation photos from Eugene. I was hoping there was some from Nick, but there weren't any. So
We were promised pictures. I don't know.
All right, fine.
I can show you photos from LA from 2 years ago. That's the best I can
That's
do. I'm looking at
perfect.
my Lightroom.
So here's the thing. I've had when we went we went to Iceland, we have some like 1,200 photos, and we narrowed down to select 400, right? Stuff like that. So I was saying you want to be careful what you ask for, but knowing that danger, I just have to say
what? A slide and everything. Very nice.
Nice.
I just added it to my So we had to stay in a Cribl parking lot because we did a camper trailer, our first big trip with a camper trailer. So that happened.
And it's next to Walmart. Nice.
Good breakfast.
Yes, Walmart is across the street. All the big trucks were parked in Walmart.
They call that economies of scope.
Yeah. Well, this is just one of our favorite places on the trip was in St. Louis. There is a city museum where it's just built by artists without all the safety features. You can climb anywhere, bang your head, bang your knees. They don't care. But it's a lot of really awesome stuff in there as well. Like I didn't put the photo in there, but like different decorations from buildings set up, and you can look at them closer and get some background on them. So like a room that has that, architectural decorations and very cool stuff. Lemonade. My wife insisted we buy that.
Nice.
That was in Gettysburg, just because. And then, of course, furniture capital of the world has a giant drawer. So yeah, there you go.
Those are some
And
socks.
then, as I promised, pictures of ships. So that's in the background is the USS Comfort, which was involved in, I think, went to New York during the COVID peak of COVID to provide comfort there.
Oh, yeah, I
So,
remember that.
So
That's cool.
my daughter wanted a picture with that for because it was cool because it has basically a floating town. She's not familiar with cruise ships, but yeah, it has hospitals and obviously, but also dining rooms and bars and whatnot. So,
Cool.
but yeah,
Nice.
I decided not to do 600.
I want a pair of those socks.
Yeah, the socks they just about fit you, right, Steve?
Yeah, totally. So we went there just for this attraction, and we were driving through it, and they're not kidding. It is the furniture capital of the world. Like every street, tons of furniture design firms, and everywhere. It's crazy.
Wow.
That must be why every piece of furniture you order takes like 6 to 8 weeks to deliver. It all has to go through one town.
Imagine trying to assemble this by yourself.
Oh my God.
I don't want to see IKEA instructions for that.
It's a great photo. I used to live near High Point, and
Oh yeah.
I always used to crack up seeing that. That
Mm.
You
ridiculous
have a lot
thing.
of furniture, Nick.
It's so like old school Southern town of like, the furniture factory has been an off famous since 1825. Like a lot of that kind of stuff. It's really ridiculous.
Mhm.
All right. And the other thing I realized is I was packing my dice, and I don't know where they are now.
Oh
So,
no. Okay.
so we're
So
gonna
we
have to cheat.
We need a D13.
We don't have a D13, so D20 it is.
Okay. We're gonna go do this twice. Number
There we go.
2, Jason Spears.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Have I already sent you something? I'll check our DMs, but if
You
not,
did.
DM me and I will send you another thing.
I
Number
did already get
0.
something. I did already get something.
Well, I reset it. All right, cool. And then 13.
Stephen Hatch. Are you still there? I know some people had to drop. I don't see Stephen Hatch in the list anymore. I say roll again.
All right. If he didn't want to suffer through vacation photos, I guess he doesn't get the
Mm-hmm.
4.
Trey. Oh, Trey may have just logged off too. Yeah, also gone. Oh no, still there.
No,
Trey,
he's there.
you're still here.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you are on our community Slack, message me privately with your address and phone number, and I will get a package mailed to you.
Will do. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.
All right.
One other thing before we go, I just
Yeah.
realized I forgot. Please use the star capability on GitHub to let us know which packs you like and which ones you're interested in seeing developed further. It helps us, just understand like the adoption of things. We don't always get the best download and interaction stats from GitHub, so please star away as a way of letting us know that this is an upvote for this pack. We like it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and welcome back, Eugene.
Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
See you on Slack.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.